गुड इवनिंग, जय हिंद एंड वेलकम टू गनर शॉट। गनर शॉट में आप सबका स्वागत है। सत श्री अकाल और वणकम। आज in this update, and of course we're going to follow it up with a open hour on whatever questions you have. In this update, I'm going to take you on a slightly different path from what I have done earlier. रास्ता अलग होगा और रास्ता इसीलिए अलग होगा कि I said last time in my last video that the Ukraine war is reaching a stage where the geopolitical fallout is more than the actual war. We all know, हम सबको पता है कि ये यूक्रेन वॉर की वजह से ऑल बिग पावर्स हैव गॉट इन्वॉल्व्ड और ग्लोबल इन्फ्लेशन बढ़ गया। कुछ लोग बोलते हैं कि रशिया जीत जाएगा, कुछ लोग बोलते हैं कि रशिया हार जाएगा, और डिपेंडिंग ऑन विच साइड ऑफ द फेंस यू आर इन एंड व्हाट योर ओपिनियन इज, दैट साइड इज विनिंग. But if you step back a bit and look at the history of the Ukraine war and the history of the Ukraine problem, the Ukraine problem actually started in the 91 when the Soviet Union broke down or broke up. तब से ये प्रॉब्लम चला आ रहा है. But defining moment of this problem was the Minsk 1 and the Minsk 2 agreements. क्योंकि तब तक वो 2014 और 2015 की बात है, तब तक यूक्रेन में काफी बदलाव आ गया था. 2014 में मैदान रेवोल्यूशन हो गया था, वो कलर रेवोल्यूशन हो गया था, जिसमें द सोवियट बैक्ड रूलर वाज थ्रोन आउट, यानुकोविच, एंड Zelensky's predecessor Poroshenko was put in place. And then the Ukraine story started, that the Donetsk and Luhansk regions, which were predominantly, जिसमें जो ज्यादा रशियंस रहते थे, राइट, उन्होंने एक सिविल वॉर से शुरू कर दिया था. वो उनको बैक किया था रशिया ने. और बाकी जो यूक्रेनियंस, प्योर यूक्रेनियंस हैं, जो वेस्टर्न पार्ट ऑफ द यूक्रेन में रहते हैं, उनको बैकिंग मिल रहा था तकरीबन वेस्टर्न सोसाइटी से और यूएसए से. और ये एक प्रॉक्सी वॉर बोलिए, लो इंटेंसिटी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट बोलिए, सब कुछ जो भी बोलिए आप, 9-10 साल से चल रहा है. सिर्फ अभी रशिया, बिकॉज इट इन्वेडेड यूक्रेन एंड वॉट एवर हैज हैपेंड सो फार, ये नहीं बोल सकते हो कि कोई एक जीत रहा है, और मेरी तरफ से ये कोई ना जीतेगा ना सब हारेंगे. And this is going to be a long drawn, simmering, low intensity conflict. That's what it will peter out into, with occasional eruptions, but with huge geopolitical fallout. अगर आप देखोगे ये जो in this map, जो इलाका जो रशिया ने ऑक्यूपाई कर लिया, पहले ऑक्यूपाई कर रहे थे, अभी ऑक्यूपाई कर लिया, वो तकरीबन ज्यादा चेंज होने का प्रॉब्लम, मतलब there's not much room for change. There'll be a little bit of offensive here and a defensive here and all, but it will continue. Even if there's a major change in the territory being held by Ukraine or Russia, the simmering problem will continue. And that simmering problem is going to be problematic for many people and many countries. Already it has had an effect, right? And that's my view. And what is this effect and how will it affect India is the issue. So that's what I'll go over quickly, and then we'll take on your questions. Right. Today, I've been saying, I've been a proponent. बहुत लोग बोलते थे कि भाई चाइना इज द विनर इन यूक्रेन वॉर, और मेरा मानना था चाइना इज द लूजर इन यूक्रेन वॉर. आज ये रिपोर्ट निकल आया है साउथ चाइना मॉर्निंग पोस्ट में. क्या बोलते हैं? चाइना इज एंक्शियस एंड रिग्रेटफुल ओवर यूक्रेन. और एक पीएलए का जनरल बोल रहा है. क्या बोल रहा है ये? थोड़ा नजदीक देखेंगे. He says बीजिंग वॉज टेकन सरप्राइज बाय वॉर। ये बोल रहा है कि उनको पता नहीं था, पर ये मैं मानता नहीं हूं। और ये भी बोल रहे हैं कि रिपोर्ट बोलता है कि दे नॉट प्रेशराइजिंग यूक्रेन टू गिव अप द टेरिटरी, कि जो हार गए रशिया से वो छोड़ दीजिए। ये नहीं बोल रहे हैं, ये गलत बोल रहे हैं ये। पर चाइना इज वेरी एंशियस एंड रिग्रेटफुल बिकॉज दे हैव नॉट सीन द डॉन ऑफ पीस। शांति का कोई सिलसिला नहीं है आज के दिन। और चाइना को प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है इसकी वजह से। क्यों प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है? क्योंकि इस लड़ाई की वजह से जितने अमीर इकोनॉमी है वो रिसेशन में है, या वो खर्च नहीं करना चाहते हैं और इन्फ्लेशन में फंसे हुए हैं। एनर्जी का प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है और वो खर्च नहीं कर सकते। अगर वो खर्च नहीं कर सकते हैं तो चाइना कैनॉट डू इट्स मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एंड एक्सपोर्ट्स। अगर एक्सपोर्ट्स नहीं तो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग नहीं है, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग नहीं है तो कंजम्पशन नहीं है, जॉब्स नहीं है, वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह, जो पिछले पीक में बताया। और जो भी मैंने पिछले पीक ऑफ इनटू एवरीडे चाइना जिसमें मैंने बताया हाइप वर्सेस रियलिटी, वो आज इसमें जाहिर हो रहा है। ये रिपोर्ट जो ऐसे आता है ना साउथ चाइना मॉर्निंग पोस्ट से, अगर आप ध्यान से पढ़ोगे तो सब कहानी निकल आता है। और ऑफ कोर्स आपको जोड़ना पड़ेगा बाकी गतिविधियों के साथ। और ये जो चाइना ने जो स्पेशल एनवॉय नियुक्त किया है कि ये शांति स्थापित करने के लिए यूक्रेन और रशिया और यूयू के बीच में, वो कहता है इट्स रादर डिफिकल्ट टू गेट ऑल पार्टीज टू सिट डाउन एट द नेगोशिएशन टेबल। ये गया 10 दिन घूम के आया है, उसके बाद अभी पता चल रहा है कि वो सारे बैठने के चक्कर में नहीं है। और China didn't expect the Ukrainians could be so bold to fight against the powerful Russian troops for so long. Very important statement. ये खुद आश्चर्यजनक हो गए कि भाई एक छोटा कंट्री, एक वीक कंट्री जो माना जाता था यूक्रेन वीक कंट्री है, राइट, वो खड़े हो गए, 1 साल से लड़ रहे हैं रशिया के साथ, हालांकि उनको बाहर से मदद मिल रहा है। अगर कल के दिन ताइवान को मदद ऐसे मिल गया तो इनका क्या हालत होगा? 2 साल पहले इन्होंने जो भी ट्राई किया इंडिया के साथ, उसके साथ तो इनको जवाब मिल गया। अब क्या करेंगे ये? राइट? तो इनका खुद का थिंकिंग चेंज हो रहा है। और अर्थव्यवस्था का प्रॉब्लम तो है ही। लास्ट पॉइंट देखिए, चाइना फील्स एंशियस बिकॉज इट बिलीव्स दैट वन ऑफ द अल्टीमेट गोल्स ऑफ द यूएस लेड वेस्ट इज नॉट अबाउट वीकनिंग रशिया बट कंटेनिंग चाइना। उनको अभी महसूस बड़ा क्लियर जाहिर हो रहा है कि तीर उनके ऊपर है। और तीर उनके ऊपर है। मैंने जब ये लड़ाई शुरू हुआ तब मैंने बताया था, अभी मेरे को याद नहीं है कौन से चैनल में बताया, पर मेरे ख्याल में आदि के साथ मैंने जब बात कर रहा था मैंने बोला था, अभी याद है, कि रशिया ने, सॉरी यूएसए ने रशिया का पंजा पकड़ लिया, पर तीर और तलवार चाइना के ऊपर है। और ये चाइना महसूस कर रहा है आज के दिन। उनका अर्थव्यवस्था डाउन है, अभी उनका स्थिति पता नहीं उनको खुद कहाँ खड़े हैं। जी जिनपिंग बोलता है कि मैं डिप्लोमेसी करूंगा, स्टेट्समैन बनूंगा, पर कोई मानने के लिए तैयार नहीं है। मिलिट्री वाला बोल रहा है कि ये बड़ा भाई कष्ट होने वाला है हमारा मिलिट्री को। तो अगर आप ये सब देखोगे तो प्रॉब्लम है। और चाइना का अंदरूनी प्रॉब्लम तो है ही। पर खैर, ये तो चाइना का ये है। मैं वापस चाइना के ऊपर ही आऊंगा क्योंकि मेरा फोकस चाइना के ऊपर है, जो हमारा देश का फोकस होना चाहिए। ओके, रशिया, व्हाट इज इन इट फॉर यूक्रेन इस पूरे लड़ाई में? इट विल इंसिस्ट ऑन रशिया वेकेटिंग कैप्चर्ड एरियाज। ओके, दैट्स हैपनिंग। पर यूक्रेन रशिया को हरा नहीं सकता, पर रशिया को इट कैन ब्लीड रशिया। गांव लगातार जाएगा और रशिया का खून बहता जाएगा और खून के साथ उसका इकोनॉमी भी ढीला होता जाएगा। राइट। अगर ऐसे चलता रहा सिलसिला तो सिचुएशन विल डीजनरेट इनटू अ वेस्टर्न स्पॉन्सर्ड इंसर्जेंसी एंड लो लेवल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, और ये अगले 10-15 साल चलने का पूरा उम्मीद है। यूक्रेन का सिक्योरिटी के हिसाब से वो दे वांट टू ज्वाइन ईयू और नेटो, राइट, और रशिया उसको छोड़ेगा नहीं, और जब तक इसका सुलह नहीं होता ये लड़ाई चलता रहेगा। राइट। और अभी क्या हो रहा है, यूक्रेन इज गोइंग टू बिकम नेशन विच इज ऑफ कोर्स इट इज डिवॉइड ऑफ रिसोर्सेस, बट देयर इज अ ह्यूमैनिटेरियन डिजास्टर। वो हो गया ऑलरेडी, न्यूक्लियर डिजास्टर के ऊपर चक्कर में भी है, उन्होंने डैम तोड़ दिया और न्यूक्लियर रिएक्टर जापोरिजिया न्यूक्लियर रिएक्टर ऑलमोस्ट came to being destroyed. The complete infrastructure of Ukraine is gone, right? So at the end of the day, what will Ukraine serve and whom it will serve is a question mark. Right, we'll leave Ukraine out because we are not interested in Ukraine as much as we are interested in India. That's where I want to come back to. Right. As far as Russia is concerned, NATO or EU in Ukraine is an existential threat for Russia. वो मानेगा नहीं कभी। अगर NATO और EU यूक्रेन को मदद करेंगे तो ये लड़ाई चलता रहेगा। राइट, राइट। और वो चाहता है कि यूक्रेन मस्ट बी पार्ट ऑफ द रशियन स्फीयर ऑफ इन्फ्लुएंस, उनके कंट्रोल में होना चाहिए। राइट। और रशिया जो है वो झिझकेगा नहीं अगर परमाणु हथियार इस्तेमाल करना है। अगर वो सोचते हैं कि वो हार रहे हैं तो परमाणु हथियार इस्तेमाल करने का पूरा अंदेशा है। चाइना का सपोर्ट है काफी हद तक, इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है। राइट। और अपना कोर स्ट्रेटेजिक इंटरेस्ट को बचाने के लिए किसी हद तक जा सकता है रशिया, और उसने पिछले 1 साल से दिखा दिया। परंतु उसके पास वो कैपेबिलिटी नहीं है कि यूक्रेन को पकड़ ले, यूक्रेन को पूरा कब्जा कर ले, क्योंकि अगर पूरा इतना बड़ा देश यूक्रेन जो है उसको ऊपर कब्जा कर लिया तो इंसर्जेंसी कौन झेलेगा, और पूरा यूक्रेन के ऊपर जीत नहीं सकता, क्योंकि आज मेरे ख्याल में कल के दिन पुतिन ने बता दिया कि हमारे पास उतना हथियार भी नहीं है, हथियार की कमी हो रही है, एमिनेशन की कमी हो रही है, प्रिसिशन गाइडेड म्यूनिशंस की कमी हो रही है। परंतु जब तक ये जारी रहेगा दे यूज अनरिस्ट्रिक्टेड फोर्स, कोई भी हथियार इस्तेमाल कर देंगे, और आखिर में रशिया विल इमर्ज एज अ वीकेंड इकोनॉमी, इसका अर्थव्यवस्था बहुत कमजोर हो जाएगा। तो एक इंस्टेबिलिटी आ रहा है पूरा दुनिया में। ओके, ये इंपॉर्टेंट है। और ये इस जब भी जितने दिन ये लड़ाई चलता जाएगा, रशिया विल बिकम वीकर। मिलिटरली इट विल होल्ड बट इकोनॉमिकली वीकर। चाइना इज बिकमिंग इकोनॉमिकली वीकर एंड इट इज बिकमिंग अनश्योर। अगर वो अनश्योर हो गया, इकोनॉमिकली वीकर हो गया, तो ही इज लाइक अ कॉर्नर्ड कैट, चाइना विल हिट समवेयर। दैट्स द डेंजर। एंड वेयर विल इट हिट? इंडिया। राइट। जहां तक यूएसए, नाटो और ईयू का संबंध है, दे आर एट प्रॉक्सी वॉर विद रशिया, और ये यूक्रेन को मदद करते रहेंगे, क्योंकि उनको क्या जाता है, उन्होंने तो कुछ हथियार फेंकना है, वो भी पुराना हथियार दे देंगे। राइट। ट्रेनिंग दे देंगे, पैसा दे देंगे, पर उसमें इनका कोई खून तो बह नहीं रहा। दे विल फाइट टिल द लास्ट यूक्रेनियन। राइट। और जेलेंस्की टाइप का गवर्नमेंट को पूरा सपोर्ट मिलेगा ईयू, नेटो और यूएसए से। और जहां तक यूएसए का सवाल है, उसका तो मुनाफा ही मुनाफा हो रहा है। आप पूरा उसका वो क्यों छोड़े? तो अगर आप देखिए तो ये यूक्रेन वॉर में कोई छोड़ नहीं रहा एक दूसरे को। असर पड़ रहा है चाइना के ऊपर, पर असर इंडिया के ऊपर भी पड़ रहा है, राइट। चाइना जो पिछले साल और अभी भी बोल रहा है कि मैं एक साइनोसेंट्रिक वर्ल्ड स्थापित करूंगा, और रशिया को प्रॉक्सी की तरफ इस्तेमाल करके ये स्थापित करूंगा, अब प्रॉब्लम में है। ये इनका पहला सोच था कि भाई यूएसए और चाइना रशिया भिड़ जाएंगे और दोनों वीक हो जाएंगे तो हम तगड़े हो जाएंगे, हम खुश रहेंगे, राइट। और ताइवान या इंडिया जिसके ऊपर हमने मारना है हम मारेंगे अपने टाइम में। पर आखिर इनका अर्थव्यवस्था प्रॉब्लम में आ गया। अगर अर्थव्यवस्था प्रॉब्लम में आ गया, डिप्लोमेसी इनका आगे नहीं बढ़ रहा, और मिलिट्री में क्वेश्चन मार्क्स हैं, क्योंकि आपके पास कितने भी हथियार हो सकते हैं, वो यही साबित हुआ यूक्रेन की लड़ाई में। रशिया ने मिसाइल्स इस्तेमाल कर लिया, प्रिसिशन एम्युनिशन इस्तेमाल कर लिया, हाइपरसोनिक मिसाइल्स इस्तेमाल कर लिया, पर फायदा क्या हुआ उसका? अभी तक वो फंसे पड़े हैं। और अगर कल के दिन चाइना भी ऐसे फंसा पड़ा तो इनका कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी लुढ़क जाएगा। बात ये है, ओके, राइट। चाइना के ऊपर असर देखिए, ये भी मैंने कल हाइप वर्सेस रियलिटी का जो पीक इनटू एवरीडे चाइना में ये स्लाइड दिखाया था। इनका बहुत ही गंभीर असर हो रहा है, इसीलिए ये पूरा स्लाइड लाल रंग में दिखाया मैंने। इन्होंने रेट कट किया। रेट कट किस लिए किया? ताकि लोग उधार ले सके। उधार लेने से वो खर्च करेंगे पैसा, राइट। सब उधार का जिंदगी है उनका। खर्च करेंगे तो हो इकोनॉमी बढ़ेगा। पर प्रॉब्लम क्या है, आगे जो इंडिकेटर्स आ रहे हैं वो वीक है। इकोनॉमी में प्रॉब्लम और कुछ होने वाला है। एक्सपोर्ट डाउन है और भी डिले हो रहे हैं। आप हर रोज मैं यूट्यूब में एक ना एक चैनल पे चाइना का प्रॉब्लम के बारे में मैं सुनता रहता हूँ। कोई ना कोई बोलता है प्रॉपर्टी का प्रॉब्लम है, कोई फाइनेंस का प्रॉब्लम है, कोई बोलता है किसी जनरल को उड़ा दिया, कुछ प्रॉब्लम है, कुछ ना कुछ जो पहले नहीं था इतना। इनका प्रॉपर्टी का क्राइसिस और बढ़ रहा है और कुछ नहीं हो रहा है। और आजकल डिफ्लेशन की बात हो रही है। अगर चाइना के अंदर डिफ्लेशन हो गया तो बड़ा संगीन प्रॉब्लम है, ओके। इनका डोमेस्टिक डिमांड गिर रहा है, राइट। उधार, लोकल डेट क्राइसिस बहुत है। इनके घरेलू डेट यानी कि हाउस होल्ड डेट सबसे ज्यादा है दुनिया में। यानी कि जितने हाउस होल्ड हैं चाइना के अंदर वो सब कर्ज में डूबे हुए हैं, राइट, ओके। तो ओवरऑल अगर आप देखेंगे तो असर अभी चाइना के ऊपर लगने लगा है, ओके। कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस क्या है, इसका नतीजा क्या होगा यूक्रेन वॉर का? जिस तरीके से चलेगा ये, एक नया वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर उभर के आ रहा है, ये बड़ा क्लियर है, राइट। और एक रीग्लोबलाइजेशन हो रहा है। डीग्लोबलाइजेशन तो हो गया, रीग्लोबलाइजेशन। और ये रीग्लोबलाइजेशन में अलग अलग ब्लॉक्स अपना अपना ट्रेडिंग सर्कल्स बनाएंगे, और फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस भी होने वाला है। और सब देख रहे हैं कि भाई डॉलर से कैसे निकले, और निकल नहीं पा रहे। तो ये दिस प्रॉब्लम इज लाइकली टू कंटिन्यू। ह्यूमैनिटेरियन क्राइसिस शुरू हो गए, और ये हो गया सिर्फ यूक्रेन में नहीं है, पर जैसे अभी देखिए पाकिस्तान जाने वाला ह्यूमैनिटेरियन क्राइसिस के अंदर, श्रीलंका में हो गया, अफ्रीका में जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं हम उनके बारे में सुनते नहीं है, सोचते नहीं है, इसीलिए हम वी आर नॉट बॉदर्ड अबाउट इट। बट अफ्रीका हैज ह्यूज प्रॉब्लम्स। ग्लोबल इन्फ्लेशन हैज गॉन अप। The international law and rules based order, you might see two things coming, because at the end of the day we should not forget that China is still a big country. Global insecurity बढ़ रहा है, फ्लैश पॉइंट्स बढ़ रहे हैं, राइट। इसके साथ साथ क्लाइमेट चेंज का असर शुरू हो गया है, और ये क्लाइमेट चेंज किसको किस तरीके से लुढ़काएगा हमें नहीं पता। और लास्ट में इसमें दो राय नहीं है, पिछले 2 साल में इंडिया का राइज हो गया। इंडिया का राइज किसी आंकड़े से देखो तो इंडिया का राइज हो गया, right? So the issue is, ये as an Indian, how do I see India's rise? और ये राइज मेरे हिसाब से इट इज इरिवर्सिबल, राइट? तो ये है जो नया ग्लोबल मैट्रिक्स निकल रहा है। ये जो नया ग्लोबल मैट्रिक्स में अगर आप देखेंगे, ये जो फोर, ये क्वाड्रिलैटरल नया बनाया मैंने, उसमें यूएसए, चाइना, इंडिया और रशिया चार कोने में है। अगर अक्रॉस द डायगोनल्स देखोगे, रशिया और चाइना के बीच में खिंचाव है, इंडिया और यूएसए के बीच में खिंचाव है एट क्रॉस पर्पसेस। ओके, आप इंडिया की नजर से देखोगे तो चाइना के साथ इट्स रिपल्शन, विद रशिया इट इज अट्रैक्शन। You look at it from US point of view, it is repelling against others. Only with China, India, it is there is a pull towards each other. Right? China is also in a position where it has only Russia. With India and USA, things are changing. So this is a complexity, and India has, as I said, is rising. Why it's rising? I'll tell that tomorrow. Tomorrow, that's what we're going to define. And आज मेरे हिसाब से इंडिया शुड व्यू इटसेल्फ डिफरेंटली आगे जाके एज अ वन ऑफ द ग्लोबल प्लेयर्स। आज तक हम सब लोग बताते आए हैं कि इंडिया इज अ स्विंग स्टेट। स्विंग स्टेट का मतलब एक झूले की तरह, जिस तरीके से इंडिया झुकेगा वो पलटा भारी हो जाएगा। मेरे ख्याल में ऐसे नहीं है। आज अभी जैसे आगे बढ़ता जाएगा हमारा इकोनॉमी, इंडिया इज अ पावर इन इट्स ओन वे, और इसको हम एग्जामिन करने वाले हैं। कैसे करेंगे? कल ये ग्लोबल पावर मैट्रिक्स जो मैंने संक्षिप्त रूप में आज बताया, थोड़ा और विस्तार रूप में हम कल बताएंगे ब्रिगेडियर अरुण सहगल के साथ, राइट? उसके बाद ये जो मैट्रिक्स का जो मैंने बताया, चार हिस्से, तीन हिस्से, बाकी इंडिया यूएसए, इंडिया रशिया और इंडिया चाइना, ये तीनों का रिलेशनशिप और उनका क्या नजरिया है बाकियों के बारे में और उसका क्या असर होगा, हम तीन अलग अलग डायलॉग करेंगे। वो 18 जून को जनरल आहूजा के साथ करेंगे, 20 जून को जनरल विनोद भाटिया साहब के साथ करेंगे जो हमारे डीजीएमओ रह चुके हैं, और 22 जून को हम वापस ब्रिगेडियर अरुण सहगल के साथ इंडिया और रशिया के बारे में बात करेंगे। और इसके बाद 22 जून को एक एनालिसिस करेंगे एक पैनल डिस्कशन के जरिए, और फिर देखेंगे इंडिया का क्या रवैया होगा। मैं यकीन करता हूं आप सब लोग इसमें शारिक होंगे। इसके अलावा 16 तारीख को और 17 तारीख को दो सेशन के ऊपर इंडिया चाइना कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स लेसन्स फ्रॉम 62 टू 2020 क्या है, वो मैं इसका एनालिसिस करूंगा। बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग चीज है ये, इसीलिए कर रहा हूं कि मेरे को एक रिक्वेस्ट आया था आर्मी ऑफिसर के जरिए कि बहुत लोग, हमारा जो आर्मी में हर साल डिफेंस सर्विसेज स्टाफ कॉलेज का एंट्रेंस एग्जाम होता है, उसमें मिलिट्री हिस्ट्री का एक पेपर होता है, पूरा 6 पेपरों में एक पेपर मिलिट्री हिस्ट्री का है। और उसमें इस साल 1962 का लड़ाई है, वो इनको पढ़ना है, और इनके लिए मैं हेल्प कर रहा हूँ ताकि उन एनालाइज करके 62 और 2020 ईस्टर्न लद्दाख में जो हुआ है उसका जियोपॉलिटिकल इश्यूज, उसका मिलिट्री इश्यूज दोनों मैं एनालाइज करूंगा। इसमें व्हाट इज द होल कॉन्टेक्स्ट, एंड फॉर इंडिया दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, राइट? लास्ट में यही बोलूंगा कि ये सब इंटरेस्टिंग चीज हो रहे हैं। प्लीज सब्सक्राइब टू गनर शॉट एंड गेट नोटिफाइड, क्योंकि ये अमूमन मैं 8 बजे शुरू करूंगा हर एक ये। अगर कोई चेंज है तो आपको नोटिफिकेशन मिल जाएगा, क्योंकि एज अगेंस्ट अदर चैनल्स मैं मेरा प्रोग्राम एक हफ्ता पहले मैं डाल देता हूँ नॉर्मली, अगर आप देखोगे तो। ये सारे डेट्स के सहित मैंने नोटिफाई कर दिया, राइट। यहाँ पर मेरा पूरा जो भी बोलना था ये खत्म हो गया। आई विल टेक ऑन क्वेश्चंस ऊपर से, राइट। There are a lot of fault lines in India used by China, US to manipulate minds with social media. How can we unite all Indians in respect of religious differences to not be influenced by the propaganda? Arun, it's a very complicated question because in India, slowly our politics is based on ethnicity, it is based on religion, it is based on all our fault lines. So I really don't have an answer as to how to get out of it. The only thing I can say is, as we develop more, as we educate our people more, the effect of these fault lines will go down. And that's the only thing we can hope. क्योंकि इसके अलावा और कोई hope नहीं है. We need to educate each other more. The day our people are more educated, things will start tampering down. Yes, बहुत बार हम सोच सकते हैं कि क्या ये हो पाएगा, पर यकीन मानिए पिछले 75 साल में बहुत कुछ हुआ है, ऐसी बात नहीं है। पहले पहले 30-35 साल पहले जितना हमारा हिंदू मुस्लिम राइट्स होते थे वो तो कम हो गए, आजकल उतने नहीं हो रहे। आप हैदराबाद में देखिए या अहमदाबाद में देखिए जितने होते थे। So there is a change which is happening. Let's hope for the best. Okay. Right. Now, right. So there's a question on de-dollarization. Let me go to that first. Okay. How will the de-dollarization, devaluation of dollar impact Indian economy and conflicts around us? Right. Will smaller countries reject US-led global order and pressure tactics? Look, मेरा मानना यह है कि de-dollarization हो नहीं रहा. The amount of dollarization थोड़ा कम हो सकता है, right? कुछ लोग अपने on a bilateral basis ट्रेड कर सकते हैं. कुछ देश जो अंडर इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ चाइना है, they can deal in yuan, but de-dollarization will not happen. Now, if the country devaluates its currency or evaluates its currency or re-evaluates its currency, or if it goes up and down, that's a standard economic effect. There's nothing special, right? If the dollar becomes cheaper, your exports will get a hit. As simple as that, right? So I don't think this will help. I mean, will affect anything. I don't think India will get into a problem. Will smaller countries reject US-led global order? I don't think they can. And I don't think they will, because no one trusts China. See, a lot of leading this global order and all that depends on how much you can trust the other nation. People trust USA. Everyone wants to go to USA, send their children to USA, seek jobs there, buy property there, everything. Who wants to go to China? So how will that global order happen? Even North Korea is not prepared to listen to them. You see, that's the point. Okay, right. Next question is from Vamred. Is China after Arunachal Pradesh due to Brahmaputra, where it has catchment of more than 70% compared to Tibet? That's an interesting question, but let me answer it in a slightly different manner. China is after Arunachal Pradesh fundamentally because the sixth Dalai Lama is from Tawang. If the Dalai Lama is from Tawang, and the Dalai Lama is only chosen from Tibet of in those days, they feel Tawang is part of Tibet. And if Tawang is part of Tibet, they're claiming it. That's the first part. The second part is the issue of Brahmaputra water is come up new. It's a new phenomenon. It will only add to the claims of China. But there's a flip to it. The maximum water they want to tap from the Great Bend, which is Medog County, which is in that new dam which they are building. The problem with that new dam is it's very close to the border or the LAC. It's vulnerable. So China is opening up to a vulnerability close to the LAC. Can you exploit it? I think you can. So let's see interesting times. And this is something which I will discuss tomorrow onwards, the other thing. Right? Okay. Okay. Right. All right. So let me get back to the top and see which are the ones which are right. Fault lines I've seen. Mm, okay. What would have been Europe's global status had they formed an economic alliance with Russia and former East European bloc post Soviet breakup? It is an opportunity frittered away. I don't think that ever came into play because when that happened, Russia was in an extremely bad state. It did not have any capability, this thing, and they could not have uh, made this. Russia started reviving around 2000. Even in 2000, as late as 2008, 9, when I went there, they were in problems. I mean, families could eat only uh, 2 meals a day. I mean, that was the problem with them. Okay, one more. Right. Serve in theatre command with their common need of training commanding officers as maybe a career army officer will be controlling air force and naval assets. Not necessary to train commanding officers. There's a requirement of enhancing joint service training. As it is in the higher command courses, which the Navy, Air Force, and Army run separately. I think one of the first things that will happen is this will become a joint course, and that will take care of itself. This is a basically a very functional problem. If the policies are clear, I think all this will fall into place on their own. I don't see this much of a problem, right? Okay. Um, right. Then the next question, Vishwanathan, I've done. Let's say what Ashok Timar says. आज ही think school का वीडियो आया है on China's crisis. You're bang on with your assessment of the situation. China is not only down, its situation is severely grim. Ashish, I want to tell you something. Oh, I am always bang on with my assessment of China. I don't know who this think school is and what assessment they do, how they do it. I do it my way. And I've been studying China from a long time. I'm generally not been wrong of China, right? Uh, I don't need their endorsement on my words. Okay. Then China is actually staring at self-inflicted disaster by artificially inflating its economy, and there's nothing. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, Shankar Subra Sengupta. First time you're coming, Jai Hind. Just a thought. Can India not make strategical artificial islands in the Indian Ocean region which could stronghold or oh, why should you? You already have Andaman Nicobar, which the Chinese are worried about. They call it an iron curtain. Okay, you have a case to make some kind of artificial island and along the Chagos archipelago with the Lakshadweep. But the problem is the currents are too strong, and it's the Indian Ocean is a deep ocean. In South China Sea, you can make artificial islands because the depth is not much, and the underwater shelves of the reefs are quite high, and that's why, and the currents are not much as a result. So there it was feasible. It's not feasible also here, but you have enough, so you don't have to worry. If you can somehow use Lakshadweep as a thing, then everything will be coming into play. Okay, Navneet Singh. Sir, if Russia loses, then you think China will be as affected as it thinks Russia will support him against America and Taiwan? Look, either way, they're lost. That's what my whole story was today, Navneet. कि इनकी इनकी China has played the wrong horse, right? Having said that, just watch out for my next peek into everyday China. I'm going to see where this relationship between China and Russia is going. Because everyone thinks so, but there are problems which are coming up in it, and that's now coming out in the open. What are the issues? So I'll discuss this separately. Okay. Uh, okay, Hardik. Is penicillin counter artillery thermal reconnaissance system of RAF which detects firing positions with thermal sensors without emitting radio wave real game changer as it helps destroy. What is this penicillin counter artillery? I have not understood it. Oh, it's a radars. Yeah. Okay. Uh, look, we don't know the what shall I say? Actual characteristics of this penicillin system. It seems to be a thermal system. We don't know the technology, and a lot of it could be fake. And I don't think M777s have been destroyed by Russia the way it's been claimed. The M777 can't be destroyed so easily. M777s have worn out, they've blown their barrels and XYZ, but M777s can't be blown out. I don't agree with it for different reasons. I mean, right? It's a very small gun actually. If someone had told me that one of the rocket launchers vehicles, big vehicles, had been blown out, I'll agree with it because it offers a target. This doesn't even offer a target. Very difficult to detect a M777 once it's tucked in. Okay, but we'll see. Right. Okay, Ashish, you've been giving too many questions. I'll not take it on. Ashish, Hardik. Okay, Pratik Bandodkar. Is it that easy for China to cut off Siliguri corridor by engaging artillery? No, it's not easy at all. And they can't deploy that much artillery. You have to understand, if China fires artillery from across this into the Siliguri corridor, it is firing into Indian territory. That's the first thing. Second, which not many people know, the Sikkim and Tibet territory was a demilitated territory with no, you know, dispute on that. It is an undisputed territory, and which we inherited, and the Chinese inherited. So now, if they fire across the Sikkim border, it is war. If it is war, we can do what we want. We can finish them off. ये पिछले एपिसोड में भी मैंने बताया आपको. चुंबी वैली इज अ नैरो वैली. वहां कितना वो गन्स लेके आ सकते हैं और कितना फायर करेंगे. जब कारगिल के टाइम में पाकिस्तान could bring lot of fire on NH1 alpha in mountains, they could not cut the corridor off. They could not cut the NH1A off. We still built artillery. We built our forces and defeated them from that very place, which was absolutely dominated by Pakistan artillery. Yeah, तो बहुत दूर है. And if you go into the Siliguri corridor, it is not as simple as that कि वहां आके बैठ जाओ तो you can cut it off. One leg of the railway line and the highway goes almost at the base of the India Bhutan China Tibet tri-junction, but the other one goes far south along the Bangladesh border. There's the Kuch Bihar Alipurduar line. So it's not so simple, right, for them to cut off anything. So, spreading narratives through alternate medias on topics like land encroachment by China, Mongolia, Kazakhstan, failing Chinese economy, one child policy, etc., can make further difficulty for China. Definitely. There's no doubt about it. And we need to do it. It is my firm belief that we don't do enough on information warfare. We don't build narratives. We don't get involved with a narrative war. This is our deficiency. And that is why, if you remember, I did a episode with Dr. Sriparna Patak on narrative wars and how to counter them. Right? I think we are not done enough on this. Okay? Right. Okay. Eshan, how are you? Long time. So General Bipin Rawat wanted to fortify the Andaman and Lakshadweep Islands to be able to lock down their areas in the ocean defensively. Can we achieve this now with our two aircraft carriers adding to our area? Yeah, definitely. And I think that thing is already on. There's no doubt about it. We are going to militarize them fully. Andaman Nicobar is as it is militarized. You see, it's not so simple. If you go there, you'll understand. You want to make it more, you can. Okay. Port Blair is a huge thing. Just imagine a harbor of the size of Port Blair and Car Nicobar with a which can take on any kind of aircraft, and all this is within strike distance of Malacca Strait and the 10-degree channel and the 5-degree channel. Oh, they are in major problems, right? So I don't right. I've already explained Western Indian Ocean. There's a problem to build Lakshadweep into something like what China has done in South China Sea. See, the geography of the oceans are different. That is why the issue. But we are much stronger today. Okay. Right. Think School is a dramatical Western shill. I won't waste my internet bandwidth watching his pro-Western bootlicking. Don't get fooled by his. I agree. What Yashan is making is a lot of common sense. देखिए ये हमारा एक डेफिशिएंसी है इंडिया में कि हम वेस्टर्न मीडिया और वेस्टर्न नैरेटिव्स को ज़्यादा बिलीव करते हैं इसीलिए मैं ये गनर शॉट ले आया हूँ इसीलिए मैं आपसे विनती कर रहा हूँ आप हमारे बात सुनिए हमारे विशेषज्ञ बोलेंगे उनका अकल ये वेस्टर्न मीडिया से ज्यादा है और उनका जो नजरिया है वो पूरा इंडियन नजरिया है मैं इसीलिए तो ये चैनल शुरू किया क्योंकि हमारे जब तक हमारे लोग हमारे प्रॉब्लम्स के बारे में बात नहीं करेंगे हम कैसे आगे बढ़ेंगे अगर हम अपना इफ यू बेस ऑल योर एनालिसिस एंड योर एक्शन एवरीथिंग बेस्ड ऑन सम वेस्टर्न मीडिया however good it is or for that matter on Chinese media or in even Japanese media you can't go far and I can tell you there are a lot of people in India who young guys who have started getting into this business of strategic analysis very good I welcome them I welcome their interest but when I see वो मसाला डालते हैं वो व्यूअरशिप के पीछे हैं और कुछ उनका मुद्दा कुछ और है और कहीं वो चैनल्स में मैं देख रहा हूं कि वो राजनीतिक चीज बोल देते हैं कि मोदी जी आ गया तो ये सब कुछ मोदी जी इज अ डैम गुड लीडर वन ऑफ द बेस्ट इंडियन लीडर्स आई हैव सीन बट ही इज नॉट एवरीथिंग है कि नहीं तो हम सब मिलके हमारे दुश्मनों को हरा सकते हैं हम सब मिलके हमारे देश को ऊपर उठा सकते हैं और इसके लिए सोच सही होना चाहिए यही मेरा कोशिश है ओके राइट सो व्हाट्स योर टेक ऑन एयरक्राफ्ट कैरियर्स वर्सेस सबमरीन्स you need both there are some people who talk of submarines some people who talk for aircraft carriers I will talk for both okay and there's no way that you can ignore one for the other if you do that you become lopsided Okay, so you cannot get into that kind of a thing, right? Often we hear the younger generation is irresponsible. Do you think our elders and retired officers should take more initiative and startups and use their experience to direct us in the right direction? I completely agree with you. That's what I try. You think I'm making this channel to make money or fame and all. I've got that. How many people in India would have walked up to the Rashtrapati and Bhavan and attended three investiture ceremonies? Very few. You can count them on your fingertips every year. I'm one of them. I'm one of the lucky guys. I've done that. I've done what I had to do to build the defense of India. I have done my fighting. I've had the pleasure of fighting the Pakistanis and the insurgents and many more. And I've done everything. I need to give it back to all of you. That is why I'm here. That's why I'm getting all my friends to tell you. It's payback time. Hell, let me tell you, I've already said whatever contribution you people give, it educates girl children who cannot pay their school fees. Okay. So, you know, I even went to startups. Just today evening, I got a call from the Tamil Nadu Industrial Development Corporation, TIDCO. They say, and IDEX, they want to do something. Will you please come and help us? Naturally, I'll go and help. Why do you think I'm in IIT? I teach young people. I mentor all those. And let me tell you something which I've not told you so far. My first love is technology. That's my strongest fort. That's why you see the periodic table behind these days. Okay. Harish says, Sir, happy to see the channel growing. Subscribers and viewers are growing by day. Quality of discourse are top notch. Learning so much from this channel. More power to you, General. Thanks a lot, Harish. Uh, that's why आज मैंने एक introductory video भी out किया so that everyone understands what I'm doing, right? So I'll get back to right others who have asked questions. Pratik हो गया, Azmanar हो गया. Right. Yeah. Discussion request Sri Lanka and the Maldives, the strategic significance in the IOR and leadership relations. I will. I'll do it because I've finished Myanmar, I finished Bangladesh, I finished Nepal, Bhutan. I have to come here. It'll come in its own turn. Don't worry. Right. Hello, sir. Some people say that the way Ukraine wreaked havoc on Russian armored vehicle, the Pakistani can do the same to our. Look, this is a fight. It'll continue. It'll continue both ways. But I don't think, one of the reasons why Russia bought it, lack of training, lack of professionalism, right? And they have not done basic tank tactics. And I think there was a problem in their civil military equation when they went for this war. They were not clear. We'll not get into that. I don't think we'll get into that, right? Is there any way international community can force nuclear disarmament of Pakistan? If yes, what can India do to abet it? India's best bet is to keep away from it, but get after IEAA and USA and the West to do the disarmament. This is the best chance when the Pakistan economy is down, and I think something is happening. Sujal, please watch my video which I did with General PR Kumar, who's been our ex DGMO, on the nuclear dynamics of a collapsing Pakistan. It's under the playlist of CASA Dialogues. Go have a look at it, right? See, we have discussed this in detail, and I have discussed it with General Raj Shukla also. This part I've discussed with Raj Shukla also. आप दोनों को देखिए एंड आप फिर आके हमें बताइए, राइट? I have many questions in my mind. Would you take them as it is an open, Anna, or would you have take one question from everyone? See, if time permitting, I would like to take on everyone's question. I can't have an open hour every day. So I will, preferably one to two questions, good questions, I'll handle without any problems, right? Because that's what it is. I mean, we have all thing. Deepak Bhatt says, "Love you, sir. Watching live from USA. Jai Hind, Jai Hind." I hope you are safe and sound in USA. And great. Okay. Uh, right. Highly educated IITM, IIM are also involved in terrorism. How education is solution? Well, the generally the thing is that these people, you will find that odd guy who gets involved in terrorism. But let's have confidence. Education does do a lot of good, and I've seen it happen. It's not as if I've not seen it happen. I've seen it happen. How the way Northeast has become peaceful. You don't know how Northeast was, say about 30 years back. It was horrible. You couldn't enter your foot there. Okay, right. Aircraft carriers can give 500 nautical miles coverage in a day, and Indian Navy with two aircraft carriers show good power projection. What about key technologies like towed array sonars missing? No, it's not exactly there. We are making some progress on towed array sonars. We have deployed indigenous towed array sonars to the best of my knowledge, right? I don't think that's a problem. Okay, Yop India, first time, welcome. How is it World War III going to affect India? Will India also be nuked during World War III? Firstly, there nothing like that sort will happen. Look, before the World War, the global power equations are changing. That's what I'm going to talk of from tomorrow onwards. Come, understand. World War III is not going to happen in a hurry. Don't worry. Okay. Yeah, right. Then Aryanam Vajay. Why is Modi government disbanding the territorial army battalions of Indian Railways with so many Muslim encroachments around railway infrastructure and sabotage attempts? We need the TA battalions. Oh well, there must be a different structural issue to this because the TA battalions all come under the defense ministry, so it has to do with something reorganization of all that. And I don't think that's anything to do with what you're saying of Muslim encroachments and infrastructure and all that, right? And don't presume that Muslim encroachments always result in sabotage. Sabotage could happen otherwise also. Okay, till the 80s, lieutenant colonels used to command battalions. What role did full colonels play at that time? Also, why was the system changed to put colonels as CEOs of battalion instead of lieutenant colonels? It was just to give them better pay and perks. That's about all, nothing more. Right? It was to increase their thing and promotion prospects and things like that. It was restructuring, nothing else changed. Okay, I myself commanded my unit as a colonel, and when I started my life and career, there was a lieutenant colonel who was the CEO. And this change of a colonel commanding a, a unit didn't happen now. It happened in '84, long back, right? Okay. And before that, colonels used to be in staff, right? Okay. Emperor of the Republic of Bharatvarsh. Everyone talks about vulnerability in Chinese chicken's neck. Northeast is not a single small region. It is also adequately populated. Suppose if it got blocked off on the mainland, then how? Look, this is won't happen. ये होगा नहीं, फिक्र मत कीजिए. ये सब बोलते हैं कि होने का अंदेशा है पर होगा नहीं, राइट? तो ये पर हमारे पास जैसे मैंने बताया उसी कॉरिडोर के अंदर ही हमारे पास 3 लाइंस हैं. इनफैक्ट 4 कम्युनिकेशन चैनल्स हैं. बांग्लादेश के जरिए भी जा सकते हैं. अगर जरूरत पड़े through the sea also we can go. So it's not that much of a problem. Right. Namaskar and Jai Hind General. My request is to make a program on our indigenous processors with Dr. Kamakoti. I don't think I will, because I don't want Dr. Kamakoti to come on YouTube this way, right? So at this point of time, no, but maybe later someday I will do it. Okay. Ganesh from think tank in specializes in finance and economics, geopolitics and military and defense. Maybe I don't know who this think tank school is. I've not seen it, so I really can't comment on it at all. Okay. Uh, Sir, like others, you also underestimate Chinese capabilities. I agree that they lack mountain fighting skills like us, but they will improve over time. We should not be so overconfident. Your thoughts? Huh? Have I said I'm overconfident? I'm not overconfident with whatever the Chinese are. I'm only trying to put Chinese in the correct perspective. I have seen the Chinese. I don't know how much you have seen the Chinese, but I have seen the Chinese. And I've seen the Chinese from 1980 to 2016. I've seen the Chinese across, okay, and at all places, and I've dealt with them. So I don't underestimate their capabilities. I am estimating their capabilities because there was a tendency in the Indian army and the Indian nation to overestimate their capabilities and to build them into something big. They are not, and also their uh, their capabilities are being doubted by their own people. When their own people are doubting their capabilities, why are you overestimating their capabilities? And how will they learn about mountains? Just by staying there. You have to fight in mountains to know about how to fight in mountains. Just by staying there and breathing in oxygen, they'll not become tough. Sorry. Okay, Sandeep, thanks a lot. Thanks for your thing. And yeah, off topic question. Do you consider that a blanket ban on all Chinese made electronics goods and companies like Xiaomi will benefit Bharat? In my opinion, their trade is part of their multidimensional warfare strategy. I agree with you, Ishan. The issue in this is uh, trade is a two-way weapon. As much as they can weaponize trade, you can also weaponize trade. So that's the first thing. But if you feel that their electronics are going to affect your security, we must ban them, irrespective of the consequences. Okay. Have we done it? I think India is the only country which has done it the way it has done. No other country in the world has banned so many electronic items or services from China. Okay. Right. Have I answered all questions? No, there are a lot of questions. I'll take them on one by one. Don't be in a hurry. I'll spend some time today. Right. Then, okay. Uh, what is the best form of soft power to influence Europe and China? Civilizational values, which we don't utilize. Bollywood, we underutilize very much. The way Hollywood is weaponized by USA, we should do the same thing. So these two, if we exploit, we can get a lot of value. We also underutilize Buddhism. Buddhism is a religion which we have constantly underutilized. You have to go and see the Buddhist circuit around Sarnath, Varanasi, Patliputra, Nalanda to understand how we utilize Buddhism. Okay, and you have to see outside to the extent which Buddhism is followed, right? Okay, yeah, I mean you'll be surprised in Korea. Almost every major township has a Buddhist temple outside. So that's something which we have uh, grossly underutilized. How big is the advantage of IAF or PLAF? Very huge, very huge. I think it's in the ratio of 1:2. That's why they deploy so many missiles and XYZ. And plus, these days, what is coming out? They don't have trained pilots. They have a problem. Okay. right? Wonder Wheels Guwahati, good. Kamakyapuri से बात कर रहा है, Kamakyaguri से. I have a strong feeling that decline in Chinese economy is intentional as they want to become more of consumer economy than export economy. Well, I don't think so because they want to become consumer economy, but they are not able to. And if they don't export at this point of time, then they can't consume either. They have a major problem. That's the whole theory. If you read Xi Jinping's dual circulation theory, uh, you'll understand what I'm talking. Okay. Shanu Mishra's questions I've taken. Yeah. Surya Deepak Boina. I think India should develop more democratic institutions as in R&D, think tanks, more reports of people, satisfaction of the government. Think we should take inspiration from USA. I agree with you. We need to have more regional think tanks. You need to have alternate think tanks. You need to have major corporations getting involved with think tanks. You need to think more. You need to publish more. You need to write more. That's why I've taken to writing after retirement in a big way, and I've been associated myself with a lot of think tanks. And this Casa Dialogues is something which I started as a virtual think tank during COVID, and it's getting traction. Now I'm coming. I mean, you have to make yourself heard. There's no two ways about that. Okay. Uh, right. Shanu Mishra ka le liya. Okay, basically baat. Do Chinese use Taiwanese chip in their military? Yes, of course they use. And if I know USA and Taiwanese, they would have already had a backdoor on it. You think only China can do all this nonsense? Even these people we can do. So let's not have a doubt about it. Ujwal Singh says, is it true that China is going to attack on Taiwan? I don't think so. Okay. Beporwa, first time again, welcome. Sir, we get scared with the debt to GDP ratio of our states across 30%, cross 30%. But the Chinese provinces have crossed 80%. Don't you think it is irreversible? Even if they put eggs, economy will know. It's happening for them. It's happening. They have a problem. Look, the problem with Chinese debt, you have to understand. मैं थोड़ा बताऊंगा हिंदी में बताऊंगा डेट जो है ना घरेलू डेट हो सकता है कि हर एक हाउस होल्ड के अंदर जो डेट हो सकता है कि मैं अपने घर में उधार ले लिया कोई चीज खरीदने के लिए वो उधार तो चुकाना पड़ेगा अगर नहीं चुकाऊंगा तो दिवाला उठेगा मेरा एक दूसरी उसके अलावा देर इज डेट एट रीजनल लेवल एंड सिटी लेवल हर स्टेट हर प्रोविंस अपना उधार ले रहा है और वो ज्यादा है वो ऑफ लिमिट्स है आजकल और वो अपना लैंड बेच रहे हैं उसके लिए और लैंड कहाँ तक बेचेंगे जहां जितना बेचना था बेचते उसके बाद खत्म हो गया और हाईएस्ट लेवल में द नेशन द सॉवरेन डेट ऑफ चाइना इज देयर दैट्स आल्सो रनिंग ऑन डेट इट्स डेट फ्यूल्ड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर BRA is all on debt so one day will it crash China debt won't crash because China uh, the banking system is an administrative system of the Chinese economy. It is not a regulatory system or an executionary system. There's no difference between the banking and the government, and both are different arms of the party. So they'll take one money from the other and give it off. The net effect will be on the people one day, and that's where they'll have a major problem. And it's happening. It'll happen. After all, how much can you build on debt? And they have a bad debt in the form of over infrastructure and over property. Let's see where it goes. Ashok Thakur. How do we counter two Italian citizens living in India and having secret admit? Well, these are things which will happen. Ashok, you have to handle them through your normal int setup and counter intelligence setup. Uh, these are, you have to expect it. Okay. Ashok has put a lot of things. Do you think India let go of a big bargaining chip by vacating Kailash Heights without making Chinese vacate all the territory they encroached upon? At that point of time, that was the requirement, and they did it. And every advantage you have in battle is time limited. and it has got limits to which you can stretch it. At that point of time, that was the requirement. They did it. So I don't think we gave it up. And this was a considered view which I've discussed with a lot of people. I think we got the best deal out of the Kailash range at that point of time. We have to do something more. It'll happen. I mean, with Chinese, one has to be patient. Okay. I mean, despite what, like someone said, despite what I say, China is not that weak a nation. It's still a strong nation, right? Okay. Ashok Thakur has put a lot of things. Yeah, this is something interesting. When youngsters start businesses, they're failing because they only focus on very quick market penetration and then overvaluation of enterprise and attract. Yeah, that I agree with you. That's a problem of all startups. Right. What situation is needed to ensure peace? Can we say that Europe has never learned the lesson of World War II, World War One, Two, Cold War, as now a new war has broken out in Europe, both direct and proxy. Look, as far as nations exist with different ideologies, with different forms of government, with different ethnicities, with different ideas, peace will never prevail. The history of the world suggests that every century sees some upheaval. So you're seeing the upheaval of this century, the past 3 years. It will continue for some more time, is right. Will continue. There's no doubt about it. Bhadrakali, thank you, General Shankar, for starting your talk shows that stimulate common Indian interest and desire to know something about China, which is a big blind spot in Indian people's general knowledge. Talks are good. Thanks a lot. Right, that's the whole aim. Right, I have finished most of the questions of everyone. Uh, okay, Ame Bogde. What's your take on evacuating citizens from Taiwan or USA? I don't think these are all transitory things. I don't think it will happen in a big way. In fact, USA will like to keep people in Taiwan. Push comes to shove, they would like to slowly inject people into Taiwan. So let's not right. Sundaram Madhuri, first time. Sir, should we not more and more of India versus China and not Pakistan? Individuals should work hard to develop India on economic. Right? Yeah. This is what my theory is. We should focus more on China and not Pakistan. And today in my I put an introduction to Ganashot today. This is what I say. We have to look beyond Pakistan. It's time we forget about it. Okay. Then the next question, sorry, is Pratik Bandotar. We had a question from you, BK Charan. New. How Agnipveer project help defense of the country? It doesn't help. As far as I'm concerned, Agnivir is a very poorly thought out scheme. I have written about it and I maintain unless we change that scheme and amend it, it's not good enough. But I agree that it's too early to amend it. So let's see where it goes. Okay, Captain Knight, why people say that CPC will help China if India blocks Strait of Malacca? In my opinion, CPC is more vulnerable, can easily be destroyed in a couple of. I agree with you completely. CPC is not a supply line. It doesn't give. Look, CPC starts from Xinjiang, it crosses the Kunjra, comes through Gilgit, Baltistan, anywhere it can be closed. It is not an alternative to Malacca Strait. This is all narrative, Chinese narrative and Pakistani narrative. It's a stupid thing. It's anyway gone. Okay. So, last question from me. Does Chinese hiring of veteran pilots from Western nations as instructors give them their major boost in their air capability and pose a major threat to us? Do our pilot now need more cross training? No, no, we don't need. Let's be very clear. We don't need. China is in a poor shape. Now, with what USA has done, they're going to stop this training academies running through third hand methods and training Chinese pilots. You'll find Chinese capability going down. They've hit at the root of things. Okay. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of. Okay. I'll give you my example and your personal example, and you'll understand. When I took over the artillery division, I had a UAV unit with me under me, and they had just we had got brand new herons. Everyone had come, everyone. And so when I went to them, they said, "So we've got everything. We can do this. We can do that. All that." I said, "Okay, if you can do all this, I'll give you an operational class. Go and do it, and come back, and do it from within your own, within our own border." And they couldn't do it. Why? They were not operationally trained. And then for the next 1 year, they were doing only operational training. And not normal flying is not the issue. Operational flying is the issue. Getting used to the environment is the issue, and they couldn't do it. I mean, when they couldn't do it, they could do it only after a lot of training. Same problem with Chinese. They're not stationing their fighters permanently in high altitude. And if you don't, you're not doing high altitude flying, you're operationally not fit. Whereas our chaps do high altitude flying daily because they take off from the ground and go into high altitudes and fly. There's a difference. There's a huge difference between what we do and what they do. So you have to understand that. We'll never get caught there. Okay, don't worry. Right? Okay. Oh, hi Saibal. Thanks a lot for letting me know. Akshay says India purchasing F-18 is a bad move. We will be at USA mercy for future combat. Let's see. It's too early. We don't know how things are panning out. Right? I think your super question is also the same. It's not a bad move to buy F-18s. It'll be a bad move if you do the deal badly. That's the more important thing. Okay, right. Akash says, on which fronts are we lacking in technology for military? I think of engine, kamikaze, attack, reconnaissance, drones, a whole lot of technologies across the board. New technologies we are integrating into the defense. We are off the mark. That's why I started this series on military technologies of the century, right? And I'm hoping that people it will catch on. Okay, right then. What is your take on the Indo-US military technology transfer, sir? Uh, so far, it has not been successful. Now they're trying a different route. Let us see if it happens. Is USA prepared to give technology to us? If USA is to give technology to us, we have to do something different. It's not that they will not give, but there has to be a payoff for it, and that payoff should not be in money. It depends on how we negotiate with them. Yeah. That brings me to the end of all questions. If there's any questions I left out, let me know. Most of the people who have asked me questions, I have given at least one answer. I mean, taken up one. So we'll do that hereafter. If you have too many questions, just put frame a question with say 2 3 parts so that I can answer it in one go. Right? That's the way it is. Thanks a lot. From tomorrow, come and join. Next 1 week, I think we're going to have some intellectual discussions on many issues, and plus one very intrusive one, instructive one on the Sino-Indian context, military context. When I compare 62 with 2020, a lot of things have come out. For me, it was an experience just to learn about it. Anyway, with this, thank you. Good evening. Jai Hind, and have a good night.